Is it just me, or have you guys noticed that when searching for 3D printers on YouTube now, we're bombarded with the new printer called the CR-10? Well, it was only a matter of time before I was approached by GearBest to give my input on this, so being keen not to add another boring review that offers the same information, I thought we'd have some fun with this episode. And to be honest with you, I'm not so keen on becoming a reviewing channel. But again, the printer they offered, at least on paper, was too good of an opportunity to pass up on. So how can we be different to the other reviews on YouTube? Well, I took it upon myself to produce a reviewer's guide to reviewing 3D printer machines, and to give my nerdlings some much needed airtime and have some fun at last while doing this. So let's list the top 10 things you need to cover when reviewing a 3D printer. And here's our checklist.
Coming real, it's the next episode.
First things first, we need reviewers. Next, an unopened 3D printer box, obviously with contents. A sharp knife or two. An assortment of tools and other instruments which may come in useful. Some filament of sorts. Some cool music. And then open the box and present the contents in an as sexy and informative manner as possible.
This world behind. Pretend that we can disappear. Pretend that we can disappear.
The obvious time-lapse footage of the build with some close-up shots to boot.
And in mind, imagine that we're leaving here. Imagine that we're leaving here. So far away. Distant song in our hearts. Leave this world behind. Imagine that we're leaving here. Imagine that we're leaving here.
And no reviewer should be complete without printing loads of trinkets and other useless objects which prove nothing other than the printer can print layers nicely. Finally, 10. To conclude the review, a thorough breakdown of all the pros and cons of this printer from build to print, and here's what we found. The build was fairly straightforward, that even a child could put this together with some minor supervision. Setup and operation is rather straightforward even for a beginner, the standard knob control menu system is basic but very functional, once you get past the usual A4 sheet of paper bed leveling routine. The quality of the print is really very nice once you have tuned this. Initially there was a lot of stringing, but once retraction settings were tweaked and the temperature of the nozzle further fine-tuned, we managed to get usable results. But there is always still improvements required here compared to a direct driven extruder such as the Prusa i3 Mark II. There is also a lot more instability when the printer gets fairly tall, and this will result in echo prints, which can be resolved by reducing the speed right down. Cable lengths from the control box to the printer is rather restricted, meaning the controller needs to sit fairly close to the machine itself. The filament holder could be better positioned for this machine, as well as the filament entry point could have been better thought out, as it's fairly close to the Z-axis worm screw. In addition, the spool holder itself wasn't long enough for larger reels, and again, if this was fixed local to the machine, it would create a smaller package design during use. The level of wear and tear on these rollers is a little worrying. From the few days of printing that we did, there was a rather fair amount of residue from these rollers, so it would be well worth upgrading these to a more durable V-roller bearing. But you know, it's well worth noting that regardless of the negatives, this printer costs less than $400 or less than £300, and for this you get a print volume of a 30 by 30 centimeter bed that can print 40 centimeters tall on a semi-assembled glass heated bed, and a print quality that could be comparable to most popular $1,100 machines. The parts used for this are of a very good specification, down to the proper worm thread lead screw for the Z-axis and the all-metal chassis parts for this machine. You get a good quantity of spares for this machine that other suppliers should really take a note of. In our humble opinion, for this kind of money, this is certainly a great beginner to intermediate machine. And for the more experienced user, this certainly could be tuned to even print like some of the high-end machines currently available on the market. And you know, when you get this much fan base on YouTube so early on, the level of maker support and customization already available is very encouraging. And so we can't wait to put our own NERDVille mark on this machine too. Well, I hope you enjoyed this spoof episode, and hopefully it covered the main areas for this printer. And with all seriousness, I was pleasantly surprised and amazed at the quality of not just the build, but also the level of detail in its construction. Check out the link in the video description below, as I have asked GearBest to offer a discount to my viewers on a limited number, and this is an affiliate link which will also bring some much needed revenue for the channel. Thanks for watching us on this episode, and I hope that you had fun watching this as much as we did making it. And of course, see you on the next episode. Now, where did I put that lightsaber?